Two Chinese aircraft carriers just made history by sailing deep into the Pacific together for the very first time. This isn't just about ships at sea, it's a bold statement of capability and reach. What does this move mean for global strategy? Why now? And how did they pull it off? In this video, we'll break down the facts, explore the tactics behind the mission, and reveal why this event is capturing attention worldwide. Let's get into it. Strategic reach expanded. China's decision to deploy both its aircraft carriers, the Liaoning and the Shandong, simultaneously in the Western Pacific marks a defining moment in the nation's maritime ambitions. These operations serve as stepping stones toward that larger vision. And it comes at a time when regional navies are also expanding their capacities. For observers, this wasn't just an interesting headline, it was a strategic signal that China's Navy is stepping confidently into a new era of capability. It's not about confrontation, it's about testing, training, and proving that these carriers can operate in tandem, at a distance, under increasingly complex conditions. For years, the Chinese Navy has operated primarily within what's called the First Island Chain, a zone that stretches from Japan through Taiwan to the Philippines. Let's break it down. This time, though, the carriers ventured beyond it, pushing into open waters east of Iwo Jima, brushing against areas traditionally influenced by U.S. and allied forces. Liaoning entered the Pacific through the Miyako Strait, while Shandong moved in through the Bashi Channel. In short, this wasn't just sailing in formation. It was a full combat simulation involving everything from aerial takeoffs and landings to missile defense and long-range communication. That's crucial because no carrier is effective without its escorts, and no extended mission is possible without logistical reliability. This allowed both ships to arrive in overlapping zones but from different angles, a clever strategy to simulate real-world multi-vector operations. These movements weren't random. China didn't just send ships out to sea, it sent them out to perform. And from all signs, they did just that. It wasn't just what China did, it was how everyone else reacted. While the carriers didn't enter territorial waters, they operated within Japan's exclusive economic zone, prompting Tokyo to ramp up coastal surveillance and enhance radar coverage. During the mission, Chinese J-15 fighter jets from the Shandong reportedly approached Japanese P-3C patrol aircraft at unusually close distances, one reportedly within just 45 meters. Japan protested these maneuvers, calling them unsafe and unnecessary, especially in such sensitive zones. Though not directly involved in this mission triggered a regional reassessment. It pushed neighboring countries to rethink surveillance, cooperation, and response plans, and it reminded everyone that the maritime balance in Asia is evolving not overnight, but definitely and deliberately. Carriers regularly stationed in Japan and operating in the Pacific. This exercise presents a new variable. It shows that China's carrier fleet is not just growing in number but in functionality. Analysts believe this could lead to increased naval activity in the region as a way to maintain balance and reassure allies. These incidents underscore how quickly routine exercises can become diplomatically tense, even without confrontation. Australia and India are also watching. These countries, involved in joint naval exercises and strategic forums like the Quad, will likely use this event to reassess their naval strategies and collaborative efforts. Carrier operations in rough seas, in the dark, and under the stress of simulated enemy action are how real naval readiness is tested. These are the kind of operations that separate a parade navy from a professional fighting force. That kind of tempo shows the plan isn't just trying to look busy, it's working on making its carrier groups functional, reliable, and resilient under stress. It interpreted the drills as a show of long-range capability, particularly significant given the ongoing discussions about regional stability and airspace security. Taiwanese defense officials stated that while China described the mission as routine, the choice of location and the high-profile dual deployment suggest deeper strategic intent. Taiwan responded by continuing its own air defense upgrades and calling for greater cooperation with regional partners. They followed specific routes that allowed them to test logistics, communication, and coordination over vast ocean areas. At times, one carrier group would act as the attacker, while the other played defense. This kind of role switching helps crews prepare for dynamic threats, while also testing radar, weapons control systems, and aircraft coordination in real time. One carrier making that move is notable. Two carriers doing it in unison. That signals a serious upgrade in capability and intent. This is not just about presence, this is about reach. It shows the People's Liberation Army Navy, or plan, can support its strike groups well beyond familiar waters. It is also the first time both carriers have ventured this far into the Central Pacific at the same time, a calculated demonstration of reach and endurance. About testing how far Chinese naval forces can operate and how long they can sustain activity far from the safety of their home ports. Liaoning was tracked over 1,000 kilometers southeast of Miyako Island. That's not just symbolic, it's logistically significant. Japan responded quickly, boosting surveillance, and emphasized the strategic implications of China's move. Taiwan pointed out that this was not just a show of force, but a practice run for extended operations in areas considered highly sensitive. What's especially important here is the timing. China is steadily working toward its 2035 and 2049 military modernization goals, aiming for a globally capable fleet. This mission is more than a regional flex, it's a rehearsal for global presence. Showcasing operational prowess, the success of this dual-carrier mission wasn't just in the distance covered, it was in the complexity of the exercises conducted, and how seamlessly the two carriers worked together. First, the timing and movement were highly coordinated. During their mission, the two carriers engaged in drills covering reconnaissance, early warning, maritime strikes, air defense, and anti-submarine warfare. The Liaoning alone reportedly conducted over 550 aircraft takeoffs and landings during the mission. The fact that both carriers operated day and night under combat-oriented conditions is especially telling. What also stood out was how they used both ships to simulate offensive and defensive roles. Support ships played an equally important role. Type 055 destroyers and other escort vessels were seen replenishing supplies and supporting the carriers mid-operation. Put simply, this wasn't a test run, it was a systems check on everything from deck operations to multi-ship communication, regional responses, and implications. This dual deployment didn't happen in isolation. It sent ripples across the region, prompting swift responses from neighboring countries and drawing attention from military analysts worldwide. Japan was among the first to respond. The Defense Ministry closely monitored the carriers' movements, confirming their location near strategic islands like Iwo Jima and Minamotorishima.